Hello, Bruce Wally here, and you've tuned in to the live presentation of Bruce's Tramily family-friendly pub quiz. Welcome for an hour of trivia where you can impress your friends and family with your trivia knowledge, or you can learn a few things, or a bit of both. So whether you're there with your family, you're playing by yourself, you've got a team together, welcome. Because this is episode number 10 and the last in series 1, which means we've got 10 hours of Tramily family-friendly fun trivia all stored up there on YouTube, and this will make it 400 questions with a lot of bonus points. We had a lot of bonus points up for grabs tonight. So welcome on board. Get your piece of paper, your pen, and put your thinking cap on. If you're a smarty pants, you'll be looking to win tonight and take home the big prize. That's right, big prize, the ego trip of knowing that you are the number one in your group. And I'll give you recognition if you message me, and we can share that with the world. So we've had people in on this, not only from right around Melbourne and Australia, but New Zealand, Alaska, which is not a country, but it's a wonderful place. John, Jill, Sue and Russell, and Eric over there. And of course, America, East Coast, West Coast, Canada, Tommy and Michelle, and where do we go? Oh, yeah, Chile, friends in Chile, Mexico, Brazil, Argentina, Botswana, g'day Pete, England, Wales, Scotland, and other places that escape me. Ireland, of course, yes. Anne-Marie, welcome to you. And we got a lot of children sort of questions up, and children young and young at heart. We've got questions for everyone, so put your thinking caps on. We're going to have the same sort of format. It's 40 questions in 6 sections, 6 or 7 questions per section. After every 2 sections, we'll be going back and reviewing the answers. And how many points we got up for grabs? About 82 points up for grabs out of 40 questions. There's a lot of bonus points up for grabs tonight, where you can show off your trivia knowledge of stuff that no one cares anything about at all, except you and me, and your bragging rights, of course. So we're also in the countdown to Movember. The most important mow you'll ever grow. That's our theme for this year. We've had our launch, and only 20 days to go, maybe less. And Movember, where Movember is the largest non-government organisation in the world, sponsoring research and programs that no one else will spend money on. And when the programs reach maturity, governments, because they're so successful, governments pick them up and fund them, and that's what it's all about. Putting money into research where no one else fears to tread. And that's the wonderful thing about Movember, operating in 20 countries around the world, raising money to make a difference in men's lives. Mental health, prostate cancer, testicular cancer. So everyone's got a man in their life, a father, son, brother, workmate, family member, cousin. If you want them to live a bit longer, donate a cup of coffee, 2 cups of coffee, whatever you feel like. And it may even be tax deductible where you live. It certainly is in Australia. So we not only have the questions, we have the mystery object. So before we start off, let's do the mystery object, which is right down here. Here it is. Mystery object. This is wire windings. This has a little brass thing that runs along the windings. This has more coils and goes inside the other one. And there's a little cat's hair down here that would be very good to touch a piece of galena. And I'll tell you the story of this later on. This is the mystery object. You tell me what it is, and you get a bonus point. Put that safely down here. And we've got our other mystery objects up behind me here that you'll know about. So let's kick it off with question number 1, children's books And we've got 9 points up for grabs. So sharpen that pencil and your mind. Question 1. The Folk of the Faraway what? Children's book. The Folk of the Faraway. What's the last word in the title of the book? The Folk of the Faraway what? What is the last word in that sentence? That is the title of that children's book. If you're young or young at heart, you should have read this one. Great story. Okay, question number 2, and we move into, well, children's shows. Children's shows, TV. When I was a kid, I watched this. It's, what I'm looking for is what's missing in the title. The Adventures of the Terrible what? That's what the show was known as. The correct one, remember you're not Googling this, you're turning off your phone, your computer and your tablet. You're doing this straight out of your head. The TV show, the Terrific Adventures of the Terrible what? I'm looking for, well actually I'll tell you, it's a number. The Terrific Adventures of the Terrible what? A TV series. Did it go around the world? It might have. It was certainly very popular here in Australia. The Terrific Adventures of the Terrible, how many? Kids show. Question 3. Another TV show. The Lone Ranger. And his sidekick, who was his assistant? Who was the able assistant to the Lone Ranger? We know what his horse was. Hi-Ho Silver. What was the Lone Ranger's assistant's name? Everyone knows that. I'm glad. Okay. TV show. Question number 4. The Samurai. What was the name of the samurai's sidekick? What was his assistant's name? Japanese ninja show. Very popular. We'll talk more about that later. You got it, you know it, because you were dressing up in samurai star knives and all that sort of stuff. Everyone was doing that. Okay, a few bonus points up for grabs here. The book, The Three Musketeers. Three Musketeers. Name the Three Musketeers. Bonus points up for grabs. And might I say, more bonus points than you think. What do I mean by that? Well, if you know the book, if you've read it, you'll know exactly what I mean. Okay, question 6. Clint Eastwood made his enormous splash in a TV series. What was it called? And what was his name? What was Clint Eastwood's character's name? So I want the name of the show and the character, the name of the character that Clint Eastwood played in that show. It's taking you back to your childhood. 50 years, ancient history. Ask the kids, maybe they're watching replays. Okay. So we move now, question 7, we move now into what I call a question of height. A question of height. 7 questions. What is the name of the highest mountain in Australia? An unusual name, but then we've got a lot of nationalities residing here. Maybe the most diverse group of nationalities, collection of nationalities in the world. I know America's got a lot, but what is the name of the highest mountain in Australia? Question 8. What is the name of the highest mountain in the United Kingdom? The United Kingdom. Marianne, I'm sure you'll know that one just straight off the bat. Question 9. What is the highest mountain in the whole of Europe? Now, that's going to set some tongues wagging, I know, because you're going to ask, please define Europe. Well, I'm describing it as the geographical Europe. So what is the name of the highest mountain in Europe? And question 10, just to get you at your each other's throats. Question 10, what is the highest mountain in the EU, the European Union? Highest mountain in the European Union. Climb every mountain. You don't have to climb every one, just name a couple. Question 11. What is the highest mountain in the USA, the United States of America? The highest mountain, name it. Now, John, Jill, Russell and Sue and Ellen, if you guys get this wrong, I shall be very disappointed, given that we camped in its shadow that time, a while back now, but we did. Gosh, that was a cold night. Question 12. What is the highest mountain in South America? South America, the highest mountain. Could have done waterfalls. That would have been an interesting topic. Might do that in series 2. Waterfalls. Some really high ones. Are there waterfalls highest than the highest mountain? There's an interesting question. Have to think about that. Question 12, what is the highest mountain in South America? And the last question in this section, a question of height. What is the highest mountain in New Zealand? New Zealand. Now, if you know the history of New Zealand, you can have a darn good educated guess at this. Great skiing in New Zealand. Gosh, the South Island does it well. But New Zealand's highest mountain is named what? No bonus points up here. All right, so let's go and review some answers, shall we? Get out your red pencil and mark them off. Question 1, what's the name of the children's book? The Folk of the Faraway Tree. Tree. The Folk of the Faraway Tree. And that, of course, is an Enid Blyton book that was written back in 1946. The Magic Forest, was that the first one in the series? Was written, I think, in 1939, before World War II. And the answer is tree. That's what we're looking for. Enid Blyton, prolific children's writer, fantastic. Sadly, a lot of her books are now considered not politically correct. Very sad. Question 2, TV show, The Terrific Adventures of the Terrible, how many? It was the Terrible 10. 10. And that was an ABC show. Did it go around the world? I don't know. That was way back in 1959, not long after television at least first started down here. Television, of course, in Australia was instigated to televise the 1956 Olympics. 1956 television came to Australia and never looked back. Very restricted back then. I think it came on at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, finished at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, maybe 10 o'clock at night, and that was it. Because why else would you want to do entertainment? Content was a big problem. Nearly everything was live back then. Not much recorded at all. Question 3. TV show The Lone Ranger. Who was his sidekick? The answer, Tonto, his faithful friend Tonto, the Indian, and what a great sidekick he was. That was a TV show back in 1949. Probably went right around the world. Now, there is a joke, of course, if you're in banking, as I was, the joke was that you were the Lone Ranger, the loan arranger, housing loans, doing loans, arranging loans. And interestingly enough, the Bank of Queensland's housing loan, bulk housing loan arm, I had a chuckle as I worked in the same building as the Bank of Queensland, and their incorporated name for their housing loan arm was Tonto Proprietary Limited. I had a good chuckle at that. Tonto for the loan arranger. Anyway, that's just my sense of humour. So, 1949, The Lone Ranger and Tonto. Great show. Question number 4, moving right along, another TV show, The Samurai. Interesting. It was dubbed, of course, because the original show was all in Japanese. The Samurai, Shintaro. Shintaro was our main character, and his sidekick was Tombe the Mist. Tombe the Mist. And what a huge merchandising, as was, of course, The Lone Ranger, merchandising thing. They came to Australia, and it was very controversial because even, when did it start? 1962, it began here in Australia, and there's still a lot of bad feeling back then about what had happened in World War II, and it was... but it did get up with kids, with me. I know mate Pete Prideaux down the road, he managed to get one Christmas a Shintaro outfit, and he had his kimono, and we made star knives out of galvanised iron, took them to school, took them out of our pockets into the shed. Someone would come around the corner, get a star knife stuck in their forehead, all the stuff that kids survived when they were young, and jumping backwards up into trees and sliding doors and jumping out of roofs. Fantastic stuff. Real action-packed. And the dubbing was appalling, terrible dubbing. But we loved it. It was action-packed. Something different. Question 5, moving right along. The book, The Three Musketeers. The Three Musketeers. Name the Three Musketeers. Well, this, of course, was a book that was set way back in the early 1600s, written by Alexander Dumas in 1844. And if you know the book, if you've read the book, here is a surprise because it's 4 musketeers. That's right, 4. Part of the story. You got Athos, Porthos, Aramis, and D'Artagnan. Yes, D'Artagnan. He's the action-packed figure. And, of course, so many other books, movies have been modelled on the characters and the storyline of the Three Musketeers. Very, very, very deep and very transportable plot into many other genres. And it's one of those big books, been made into movies and that sort of stuff, and a great read it is if you're a kid or a kid at heart. So 4 points up for grabs there if you named all of them. Athos, Porthos, Aramis and D'Artagnan. 4 points. So I hope you grabbed all 4 of those for the Three Musketeers. Question 6. Clint Eastwood made his TV debut in what TV series? The series name, of course, was Rawhide. Rawhide, on the trail, taking cattle from the farm to the railhead to market, and his character was Rowdy Yates. Now, interestingly, his job title was Ramrod And you know, I can't find anywhere on the internet that tells me what a ramrod was. But given that he was a corporal or something in the Civil War, as a character, his character was, I imagine that ramrod was the law enforcer, the sheriff. I can't remember the plot so much. It's a long time since I've watched the series as to whether he was the one that pulled the pistol to quieten things down. But of course, he ended up being the trail boss by series 8 or 9. He got promoted all the way through. And what a great guy he's turned out to be. Fantastic producer. Anything that has got Clint Eastwood's name on it is well worth watching. He does a great job. Clint Eastwood. And we move on to section 2, a question of height. Question of height. The highest mountain in Australia is Kosciuszko, Mount Kosciuszko. It's sadly just like a big pile of dirt, really. Kosciuszko, a Polish name, named after a Polish explorer. 2,228 metres, just a pile of dirt, 7,310 feet high. We get snow. We don't often get great snow. It's often damp snow, but we have had a couple of really good snow seasons here, which has been nice dry snow. So global warming's not doing Australian snow much good, but last season, the season before this season, not this season because no one went skiing this season because of COVID, but last season was a very cold, long season and a lot of good dry snow to be had. So every now and again we get some really good seasons. And the snow comes in usually Queen's birthday in June, and last year we didn't stop skiing until November, October, November. It was a long season. Good for the ski resorts. So, question 8. What is the highest mountain in the UK? The highest mountain in the UK is Ben Nevis in Scotland. That is 1,345 metres high, almost half, just more than half the size of Kosciuszko. Not much happens up there, but then Scotland's a lot colder. So 4,413 feet, Ben Nevis in Scotland. Question 9. What is the highest mountain in Europe? Yes, geographical Europe. Now you've got to scratch your head. If you haven't looked at a map recently, that includes a lot of countries, and it does include Russia. Russia is home to Mount Elbrus, which is in Russia, 5,642 metres, more than twice the height of Kosciuszko, 18,500 and a bit feet. That's a pretty good heap of dirt in Russia, in Europe. And the EU, we go to EU, if you think of taking out your pen, you hope that was the first thing that came to mind. Mont Blanc. Mont Blanc is 4,808 metres high, 15,774 feet, is the highest in the European Union. And there's great skiing down there. I learned to ski over there, not on Mont Blanc, no, but on the border of Italy and Switzerland, Tirano. Beautiful spot. Great snow. Question 11. The highest mountain in the United States of America. The highest mountain is Denali. Mount Denali. Used to be called Mount McKinley, but with all of this going back to Indigenous names, which is a very common thing, used to be called Mount McKinley. Was that a US president? I think it was. Denali, 6,200 metres, 20,300 feet. And if you look at Mount Rainier, yes, which is a very high heap of dirt outside of Seattle, that is the most beautiful. Denali, they're beautiful mountains over there, and they're easy to see. From Seattle, you get a magnificent view of Mount Rainier. spectacular. And same with Denali, when the weather is clear, which it isn't very often, but we were very fortunate to see it on a clear day. And it is spectacular. Not in a range so much, just standalone mountains out there, and they are spectacular with the sun shining on them. And of course, in America proper, it's interesting to note that the top 10 mountains in North America are all in Alaska, bordering on Canada, and it's not, and in the 48 states, it's not until you get to mountain number 11, Mount Whitney in California, and then Mount Rainier, my favourite mountain, is the 17th highest in Washington State. So yes, the top 10 are in Alaska, bordering on, well, I think Canada claims half of a couple of those mountains at least anyway. So there we go. A lot of high dirt up there in the eastern seaboard of the northern United States. South America, we move on to question 12. What is the highest mountain in South America? Probably not climbed all that often. It was climbed a long time ago, back in the 1800s. Aconcagua in Argentina. It's a big heap of dirt, nearly 7,000 metres high, 6,962 metres, 22,840 feet. That is a big heap of dirt. Highest mountain in South America, Argentina. I haven't heard much about skiing in Argentina. Maybe they do a lot over there. They should have a look at that. And the last one, question 13, New Zealand. What is the highest mountain in New Zealand? I'll tell you, it's Mount Cook. Great skiing in New Zealand. I'm not sure that the skiing on Mount Cook, once again, Mount Cook is one of those standalone mountains, not far away from Mount Wellington, the Wellington City, the capital. And it's just one of those beautiful, great big conical mountains, and a lot of great ski. It's on the North Island, the very south of the North Island. Beautiful, spectacular country, New Zealand, if you've never been there. Great skiing down there near Queenstown and a few other places. And the other name for Mount Cook is Aoraki. 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 The New Zealander name. Yes, 3,724 metres, 12,218 feet, and spectacular parks over there on the North Island, in Narahoe, Ruapehu, Tongariro National Park. I remember that because they got a place there called the Top of the Bruce. I thought that was very humorous. Live volcanoes over there. Mount Ruapehu, it had blown up just a year before I got there. Spectacular stuff when you're living in volcano land over there in New Zealand, across the ditch. So I hope you did well there. How many points up for grabs? 16 points up for grabs. I hope you did well out of that. So we move on to section 3. British TV that moved to the USA. TV shows that moved from England to the USA, and we've got 6 questions. Have we? No, 7 questions. And 2, 4, 6, 7 questions. And we have 21 points up for grabs. So there are a lot of bonus points here. So what we're looking for is the name of the show in England and the name of the show in the US of A. So the first one, in fact, I'm going to ask a different question to that. I'm going to say that The Office was a TV show, by example. The Office started off in the UK and moved to the USA. Now I'm going to ask you, who were the key incompetent bosses? What were the real names, not the actors' names? The names of the actors, not the characters, the names of the actors that played the incompetent bosses in The Office, the one in the UK and the one in the US of A. 2 points up for grabs. The real name of the actors, one in the UK one in the US of A in the TV series The Office. And what a great series that is. Question 15. Started off in England and moved to the USA. It's the TV series of a dysfunctional household of women. Mothers, daughters, cousins. A dysfunctional household of women. Have you got the name? The English name and the USA name. Different names. Same theme, same show, different names. Question 16. Oh gosh, question 16. This show started off in England about a family, and the husband, the head of the household, is a politically incorrect patriarchal, it's a patriarchal family. He's a bigot, he's a sexist, he's a misogynist, he's a racist, and what's the name of the show? He had a crack at everybody and everything. What was the name of the show in the UK, and what was the name of the show in the US of A? He was just a horrible guy. So horrible, you had to laugh. It was a comedy. Not politically correct. I think you can still find it out there though, but I'm not sure for how much longer. Question 17. Magnificent show in the UK of a junkyard second-hand dealer and his son that went to the USA and was called a different name in the USA. Give me both names of the shows. 1 point each. Scratching your head, you've seen it, I know. Question 18. I only learned about this researching for this. The inn is called, it's a story of an inn, a hotel. The Whispering Pines Inn, run by Royal Payne and his wife Constance. That is the American scenario for this particular TV series. What was the name of the original English TV series and the name of the American TV series? 1 point each. And question 19. Technical problem? Are we working? High drama in quiz time. We're good. Technicians have fixed everything. Where did we miss out from? Where do I go back to? Maybe we didn't miss out on anything. Anyway, we'll go back quickly. Question 18. The American TV series The Whispering Pines Inn, operated by Mr. Royal Payne and his wife Constance. That was the American scenario for this particular TV series. What was the name of the American TV series, and what was the name of the original British TV series? Question 18. Question 19. This is about a school class and the teacher. What an interesting relationship. What a great series. What is the name of the English TV series and the name of the equally famous American TV series? And that is the end of section 3, which was British TV shows from the UK to the USA. Welcome back. You know it's live when technical stuff happens like this, so thank you for your patience. We're back on the air, and let's pick it up from where we left off in the subject of British TV that went to America, TV shows that started in England and went to America. Question 18, the name of the show in America was called The Whispering Pines Inn. No, not the name of the show. The scenario was that the inn or the hotel was the Whispering Pines Inn, and it was operated by Royal Payne and his wife Constance. That was the scenario for the American show. What was the name of the American show, and what was the original British TV show called? 2 points, one name for the British TV show, second point for the name of the American TV show where the scenario was they were operating the Whispering Pines Inn, operated by Royal Payne and his wife Constance. 1 point each. So question 19, TV series about a school class and their teacher. And what an awesome show this was in both countries. Names of both shows. The British show, the American show. About a school class and their teacher. You remember that one? Of course you do. Time to show it off to your friends. Don't tell them, just write it down. And question 20, there are a lot of points up for grabs here. A lot of points up for grabs. 10 points, in fact. Arguably the greatest puppet TV show ever made. Ever made. And it was made into a movie as well. Pretty awful one, but a movie. Thunderbirds are go. Go, go, go. Thunderbirds are go, yes. All of that, you remember it. And I think it's still running now. Yes. Children's show of our youth. You get a point for every character you can name. 1 point for every character you can name. There you go. Talk about generous. So knock yourselves out. Lots of characters there. I've got 10 characters here. Let's see how many of those you can get, of the main characters. The main characters. So how are you going there? And that puts us halfway. So let's mosey on, shall we? Because you don't want to get too stressed out. You don't want to get a phobia about it because, well, if you know about phobias, you'll be really good with the next section, because it's called Phobias, 6 questions, and you get 1 point. No bonus points here. Arachnophobia is a fear of what? Arachnophobia. Is that what you've got? Do you know someone with it? You don't want it. You don't want any phobias. You want to live life without any baggage. Weighs you down. But for the purpose of this, you want to know the answer so you can get a point. Show off to your friends, bragging rights. Question 22, aerophobia. Aerophobia, what is that a fear of? Aerophobia. Question 23, autophobia. Autophobia, what is that a fear of? I hope this is all too easy for you. Not because you are, but because you have got the trivia stashed away in your noggin. Question 24, hydrophobia. Hydrophobia. What is that a fear of? For a point. Second last question in this section, question 25, claustrophobia. Claustrophobia is a fear of what? Write it down. Write it down. Don't scream it out. No, write it down. And the last question in phobias, question 26, Phobophobia. What is phobophobia? Phobophobia. What is that a fear of? I hope you're not suffering from any of those maladies. So let's go back now and review the answers before we have any more technical glitches. Gosh, like I say, you know it's live when it's bumping along like this. Anyway, question 14. The Office was a successful show in the UK and the USA. What were the names of the actors that played the two leading bumbling office managers? Ricky Gervais, who was the co-founder of the series. I think he'd be doing very handy, out of that. And of course, the inimitable Steve Carell. Steve Carell, in the USA series, and unusually, I think, my personal opinion, the USA series was much better than the British series. I think the UK series started off okay. Would they have 3 seasons? 3 seasons. First 2 were okay. Third one descended into what I call a hot mess. But Steve Carell and the crew, who have gone on to great things, did a marvellous job. Loved it, laughed my head off, and what a classic Office that was. Hope you enjoyed it too. And if you did, you'll have known the answers. 2 points there. 1 for Ricky Gervais, 1 for Steve Carell. And question 15, what was the name of the show in England and the UK and America for a household of dysfunctional women? Household of dysfunctional women. In the UK it was called the Brighton Bells, and in America, the Golden Girls. Curiously, the Brighton Bells flagged and collapsed. Only had, was it 3 seasons, something like that? The Golden Girls went on and on and on, magnificent series, and got exported to the UK, and the UK embraced the American series so warmly. And as you would, because great actresses in that, the Golden Girls. Hope you got 2 points for that. 16, the politically incorrect paternal head of the family. He's a bigot, a sexist, you name it, misogynist, racist, and God, what a horrible character, what a comedy. What a comedy, you just can't, you're just so cringeworthy, you can't believe that anyone would be like that. And of course, in the UK it was called Till Death Do Us Part, Till Death Do Us Part, and in the USA, all in the family, all in the family. And I have to say that it throws back to the Jackie Gleason show, I think. He played that sort of grumpy old bloke that had a horrible opinion on most things, and the whole world was against him. So anyway, Jackie Gleason was a great American comedian, but I hope you picked up 2 points, 1 for Till Death Do Us Part, and the other for All in the Family. Question 17 was the junkyard, the second-hand dealer and his son. I grew up on this. Steptoe and Son, Wilfred Bramble, and in America, a show that I've never seen, Sanford and Son. Sanford and Son. So I hope you picked up at least 1 point on that. I would have only got 1 point. I didn't hear of Sanford and Son, but I'm going to go and check it out and see what it's like as the American version of Steptoe and Son. And that's the joy of trivia. You can learn a little bit along the way. So question 18, what show in America involved the Whispering Pines Inn and the proprietors of that inn, that hotel, what a name, Royal Payne, and I'm sure he was a royal pain, and his wife Constance. Now, I haven't seen this one either. In England, it was called, in the UK and around the world, it was called, Faulty Towers. How could I forget that? Faulty Towers. How could anyone make a copy of Faulty Towers? But they tried, and in the USA it was called Payne, after Royal Payne. And I'm going to go and check that one out as well. So I hope you picked up at least 1 point. Maybe you were smarty pants and got 2. but that's how it goes. I don't think Paine went very far. Mind you, there are only 12 series in Fawlty Towers, which I find hard to believe because it's such a wide-ranging show. Maybe it packed so much in, you just felt like there were 100 episodes. And question 19, the school teacher and his class in the UK, Please Sir, wonderful show, Please Sir, and maybe even more famous than that, the American series Welcome Back, Kotter, and didn't that launch so many careers? John Travolta, Vinnie Barbarino, and so many others were part of those mischievous school kids that really we all loved, and they went on to great things. Question 20, last one in this section, arguably the greatest puppet TV series that's ever been filmed. No one ever did real puppets with great success like this one. Thunderbirds, Argo, 10 points. How many of the puppet cast did you get? So get ready, 10 points up for grabs. Lady Penelope, Brains, and the Tracy brothers, a lot of them. What have we got? Virgil, Alan, Scott, Jeff, Tintin. She was a lovely character. Gordon, John, and of course the handy chauffeur, come handyman for everything else, Aloysius Parker. Aloysius Parker. How did you go? I'll read them out again. Lady Penelope, Brains, Virgil, Alan, Scott, Jeff, Tintin, Gordon, John, and Aloysius Parker. 10 points up for grabs. A lot of points there. I hope you did well on that. Thunderbirds are go. And what an amazing lot of sayings that came out of it. Well, Thunderbirds are go for one. Second section, section 4, phobias. How did you go with arachnophobia? Arachnophobia, if you've got a phobia over 8-legged, no, not 5, 8-legged spidery things, spiders, that is what arachnophobia is, a fear of spiders. Aerophobia. Aerophobia, yes, a fear of air, not quite. A fear of flying. Flying. In this day and age, so many opportunities to fly, but if you've got a fear of it, it is dread. So aerophobia, the answer is flying, a fear of flying. Question 23, autophobia is a fear of, no, not cars, auto. You'd think it might be cars. Autophobia, no, it's not. It's a fear of being alone. Strange, isn't it? You'd think that'd be something like solophobia or something like that, but no. Fear of being alone, autophobia. 24, hydrophobia. Too easy. Hydro is water, and it's a fear of water. Question 25, claustrophobia. Claustrophobia, it's a fear of crowds or open space, confined spaces. Confined, don't want to be in a lift. Confined spaces, crowds, claustrophobia, 25. Take either of those answers. No bonus points there, a bit mean on that one. And the last one, phobophobia. Phobophobia is a fear of phobias. Yes, you don't want to have a fear of phobias, otherwise that's a phobia, phobophobia. That would be terrible, to have something that you don't have, but you're afraid of it anyway, because you might get a phobia. Strange. Isn't the world strange? Anyway, apparently that's an affliction some people have got. I hope it's not you. I hope you got the answer and got a point. And how many points for those two sections up for grabs? 31 points in all. How did you go? Let me know. As we move on to the last two sections, James Bond, shaken, not stirred. James Bond, who played? Now, there's some bonus points up for grabs here because not only am I going to ask you who played James Bond in the James Bond movie, but as a bit of a twist, because I'm being very generous in this 10th episode. If you can name the femme fatale, the woman, key woman in the James Bond movie, her stage name and the actress's name, then you'll get 2 bonus points. So 3 points up for grabs in each of these. One of them had 2 femme fatales, so you can get 2 extra. You get an extra bonus point on that as well. So we'll start off with James Bond movie. Diamonds Are Forever. What a brand, James Bond. Diamonds Are Forever. Who played James Bond? And what was the name of his femme fatale, the intriguing woman? And what was the name of the actress who played the femme fatale? Diamonds Are Forever. Question 28. Live and Let Die. Live and Let Die. That was Paul McCartney, I think, did that one. Who played James Bond, and what was the name of the femme fatale and her real name of the actress? Question 29. On Her Majesty's Secret Service, who played James Bond, and what was the name of the woman? Going back a bit, question 30, Casino Royale. Casino Royale. Who played James Bond in that? And the woman. If you're a James Bond buff, you will have this on toast. Bonus points coming out of your ears. So just write them down, don't share them. Question 31. The Living Daylights. James Bond show The Living Daylights. Who played James Bond? And who was the femme fatale? Question 32. Golden Eye. Golden Eye? Not Golden Me, not Golden You. Golden Eye. Who played James Bond? And last in our James Bond questions, 33, question 33, Spectre. Spectre. Not Inspector. This is not the Pink Panther. Spectre. Who played James Bond in Spectre, and what was the name of the femme fatale? The female co-star and her real name. As we move on to our final section, which is general knowledge. Who'd have thought? Trivia quiz with general knowledge. As a topic, 14 points up for grabs here, a few bonus points. Question 34. The boiling point of water at sea level is 100 degrees C. Yes, it is. 100 degrees C, boiling point of water. But what is the boiling point of water on top of Mount Everest? I'll make it easy for you. Is it less than 100 degrees C or more than 100 degrees C? Higher or lower? Easy question. 50-50 chance. Just write down, you got a 50-50 chance, just write down one or the other. Question 35, where am I? The capital of Belgium is what? Capital of Belgium, what's the name of that? General knowledge. And Belgium is in the EU as well as Europe. Question 36. What is the Morse code letter? What is the Morse code symbol for the letter T? T. The letter T. What's the Morse code sign for that? What do you do? How many dots? How many dashes? What's the combination? Give it a crack. Question 37. Opera. How's your opera? Which opera in 4 acts premiered in Cairo? Yes, it did. Premiered in Cairo in 1871 and is about love in ancient Egypt. In fact, I'm inclined to give, I'll give a bonus point here. Give me the name of the opera and the composer. 2 points up for grabs there. So question 38, getting to the pointy end. Who was the first person to fly a heavier than air powered aircraft? Who was the first person to fly a heavier than air powered aircraft? That is a controversial question, but we'll delve into that later. The penultimate question: the planet Venus in this solar system has many craters. What is the naming convention for the craters of Venus? What is the naming convention for the craters of Venus? Have a think about it. Have a stab in the dark. You might get closer than you think. And the last question, question 400 in Series 1, the last question: who invented string theory? Knots and all, string theory. Who invented string theory? It's not question impossible. No, it's not. It has an answer in relative modern history. And if you're into this sort of stuff, look to the one who's going to uni, going to physics, and he will know that answer right off the top of his head. And if you don't know the answer, you're going to know about it soon enough as we now review the answers for our final 2 sections, and you can grab lots of bonus points, 22 points up for grabs in James Bond. How did you go? Question 27, Diamonds Are Forever. Who played James Bond? Sean Connery. And what a controversial choice that was for the brand of James Bond, a very young, what was he, 30, 31, something like that, Scottish lad of no particular heritage at all. And yet, what an amazing actor, what a great choice, even though it was frowned upon enormously. Now, the femme fatales. Who were the females? There were 2 in Diamonds Are Forever. You might not be surprised to hear that one of them, because you'll probably know this, Tiffany Case is the name of one. Her name was Jill St. John. Her real name, Jill St. John. The character name was Tiffany Case. And the females in James Bond, of course, have some of them most unusual names. The other one was, as this would be a good example, I think she's related, this is the stage, the character name related to Peter O'Toole. Her name was Plenty O'Toole, and her name was Lana Wood. 2. So you get 3 points there if you got all 3. If you're a James Bond buff, you'll know all of that. Question 28, Live and Let Die. Live and Let Die. Roger Moore played James Bond. Roger Moore, very suave and sophisticated, coming straight out of his role in The Saint magic show as well, TV series. And his femme fatale, Solitaire. Live and Let Die. Solitaire, played by the inimitable Jane Seymour. Magnificent actress. Hope you picked up a couple of points there. 3 points. Question 29, on Her Majesty's Secret Service, a very strong link here to Australia, on Her Majesty's Secret Service, because George Lazenby, the Aussie, played James Bond. The femme fatale was Tracy. That was the character. Sadly, Diana Rigg passed away just recently. Very sad, because she was the catsuit woman in The Avengers. And what a great life she played in many, many roles, but fantastic in the role of James Bond as Tracy, Diana Rigg, George Lazenby, the Aussie, and interestingly, Blofeld, the anti-hero in this, was Telly Savalas. Telly Savalas. What was his line? Not "Here's looking at you, kid." No, it was chewing on a Chupa Chup or something like that. Telly Savalas. Question 30. Casino Royale. Casino Royale, James Bond was David Niven. And what a suave, sophisticated, maybe not the action-packed man that you would think, but who is? But he did Casino Royale, David Niven, and Vesper Lynd. Vesper Lynd was the character, played by Eva Green. Eva Green. I hope you picked up all 3 points there. Question 31, The Living Daylights. The Living Daylights, Timothy Dalton. And the character name was Cara Milivoy, played by Marianne Darbo. D''ABO, Darbo. Probably Spanish, something like that. Not familiar with her. But Cara Milivoy was the character for James Dalton in The Living Daylights. And question 32, Golden Eye. Golden Eye was played by Pierce Brosnan, and Xenia on Top. Xenia on Top is the name of the character. Where they get these names from, I've got no idea. Played by Famke Janssen. Famke Janssen, Swedish, Finnish, something like that. Where do they get those character names from? And finally, so 3 points there. Finally, question 33, Spectre. Yes, Spectre, played by Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig. And what magnificent actors all these guys were. And the character's name was Estrella. Estrella, played by Stephanie Sigman. I hope you picked up all 22 points available there in James Bond. As we come to our final section, general knowledge, 14 points up for grabs, 14 points, a lot of bonus points, as I say. The boiling point of water at sea level is 100 degrees centigrade, 212 degrees Fahrenheit. So is it higher or lower on top of Mount Everest? It's lower. In fact, it's 70 degrees, the boiling point of water at Mount Everest. It doesn't mean it's any hotter, it's just that you can't get it any hotter because it's boiling and giving off the gas as steam. So that's as high as you can get unpressurised water over a fire at the top of Mount Everest, 70 degrees C. Not much of a cup of tea, but then as cold as it is up there, you'd be happy for anything at 70 degrees C, I'm guessing. Not that I've been there or hope to be there. So, 1 point there. Question 35, what is the capital of Belgium? What is the capital of Belgium? The answer is Brussels. What a great country, Belgium. Brussels. What is their national symbol? In the fountain, in the centre of Brussels, the young boy pissing in the fountain. You've got to love any country whose national symbol is a young person pissing in a fountain, I think. That shows great joy. And any country that has that sort of humour is a great country in my mind. Thomas, love your work over there. So hope to get back over there one day and catch up and have one of those beautiful Belgian beers. So question 36. What is the character, what is the symbol for the letter T in the Morse code directory? It is a single dash. A single dash. No dits, no multis, just one single dash is T. I think Greg would have got that. Ewan, I think you would have got that too, and a few others out there if you're a ham operator. Question 37. Which opera in 4 acts debuted, premiered in Cairo in 1871 about love in ancient Egypt? Of course, Giuseppe Verdi and Aida. Aida. Magnificent opera. And we had it's been played here at various venues. One of the most intriguing ones was when they played it at the Carlton football ground. And when they had the parade, they had a whole lot of circus animals or zoo animals and got out and had them around the ground. It was spectacular. They really did it big. Aida. Go and see it if you haven't seen it. Question 38. Who was the first person to fly a heavier than air powered aircraft? Now, there are several points up for grabs here, but if you pretty much got any of these, I'm going to give you a point. If you get more than one, the Wright brothers are generally seen as being the first people to powered flight. However, history has demonstrated that there is a small problem with that. The Wright brothers were really having their eye on getting a military aircraft contract. They wanted proof very early on, but there are no photographs. The photographs of the Wright aircraft are from 2 or 3 years after the claimed first event. And although many reproduction aircraft have been made of the original Wright brothers' plans, they have never been able to fly them, unflyable. So did they ever get that off the ground, or in fact did they see what was being built and have a few cracks at it and didn't in fact get their plane in the air and flying for another 2 or 3 years? That leaves us with the big question. Who was the first person into powered flight? Now, some of these early ones were very short flights indeed. But there is a Russian, Alexander Fedorovich Myshavsky, and he's got evidence that he got his powered machine off the ground, not for very far, back in 1884. That's like 20 years earlier. He went on to greater things. Clement Ader in 1897 got a machine off the ground. Clement is a Frenchman. The hottest tip for the person who actually got flight, which was evidenced in local newspapers and those sorts of things and witnessed by a lot of people well before the Wright brothers, is a German who emigrated to the USA by the name of Gustav Whitehead. You might think that maybe he changed his name, anglicised his name, which would have been Whitehead. Kopf? Blomkopf? No, that's Weisskopf. He got a well-documented flight right down the main street of the town back in 1901. A long time before the Wright brothers got their supposed show off the ground. And in 1903, a lot of competition. 1903, we had Samuel Piermont, Carl Jatho, the Wright brothers, and in Brazil we had Alberto Santos Dumont. 1903. But as I say, the Wright brothers sadly didn't have any direct evidence of seeing the plane take off. And so it's a very interesting thing, because the whole of the history would need to be rewritten if the official fact of the Wright brothers is going to be downgraded. So so what did you have? I'll give you a point for the Wright brothers because that's what everyone says. And for the final question, who invented string theory? there's a couple of points up for grabs here, because if you look at modern history, the man who is still alive, the Italian, Gabriele Vincenzo, did a lot of experimental work in CERN, at CERN in Switzerland, the big circular accelerator. But if you go back to Breaking Bad and Walter White, you'll have a hint. Werner, the German, Werner Heisenberg. What was Walter White in Breaking Bad? He was a science teacher, and he chose the name in the show, Heisenberg. And Werner Heisenberg in 1932 was awarded the Nobel Prize for quantum mechanics, of which string theory is part of that discipline. And so the name that we're looking for back in 1943 with his theory on S-matrix theory, the beginning of string theory, Werner Heisenberg, adopted by Walter White from Breaking Bad. So that brings us to an end. Thank you very much. Tell me what score you got. We've got one more point up for grabs, which is the mystery object. So you've got 83 points up for grabs, plus 1 for the mystery object. Let me just grab this. This magnificent item is in fact a crystal set. And around here, you'll see where you put the galena crystal, and this little thing here, which has got a little cat's whisker on it to touch on the galena. This is windings. This was made by my grandfather back in 1909. He made 2. This one was given to his best friend so that they could listen to the American Navy's entry into the Port Phillip Bay in Melbourne. First time the American Navy had come to Australia, and they did so en masse. The communication between the ships was by Morse code, and this crystal set and its sister crystal set was made by my grandfather in 1909 so that they could listen to the transmissions. Not a lot of transmissions going on, no commercial radio. It was just for the Morse code transmissions for the American Navy, and got that back from my grandfather's best friend's grandson. Thought we'd never see it again. Got it back about over 100 years after my grandfather made it. Came to the door, knocked on it and said, you might be interested in this. Your grandfather made it, and you might be interested in having it back again. And I was, as a ham radio operator. So thank you very much. There's a bonus point. I hope you got a crystal set for that. That's 84 points up for grabs. That's the end of the first series. 10 quiz shows, 10 hours, 400 questions. Our mystery object is done. And don't forget to subscribe. If you like it, subscribe, because we're not stopping here. We are going on to do quickie quizzes. Quick quizzes of 10 questions, 15-minute quizzes. And that's something that I think I'll post some of them on, not only here on YouTube, but you'll be able to find them on Facebook as well. And hope that's of interest to you, something you can do while you're waiting in the waiting room at the doctor's or anywhere else where you have to be waiting. A 15-minute quick quiz, test your memory and get you smiling, be able to exercise your mind. And so we'll be doing that. Don't forget to donate to Movember, a great institution around the world helping men live longer. Go to my Facebook site, Bruce Wally. You can Google it, Melbourne's Happiest Tram Driver. Go into Facebook and search Melbourne's Happiest Tram Driver, and you'll find the link there to donate straight through. 1 cup of coffee, 2 cups of coffee, that's all you need to donate, or more if you wish. So stay tuned for the quickie quizzes. Hope you've had a great evening. That's it for tonight. Have a great one, and we'll see you next time for the quick quizzes. It's night from me, and it's good night from him. We've done a great job despite technical hitches.